Hey guys, good afternoon. Sorry about the one I posted. I did another version of that one, and I can't find it. It's on my other site that they took down. So anyway, I know there was an audio issue. I'm sorry about that, but I can't find the revised version of it. Hang on a second. So I found this document that I thought was pretty interesting. It's to the Honorable Adam Schiff, Ranking Member, Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, U.S. House of Representatives, and the Honorable Devin Nunes. And what they do is, this document comes from the American Psychological Association. And what they talk about in the document is human rights violations by this committee on Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. And there is something that includes a provision prohibiting psychologists from participating in national security interrogations. And I believe these national security interrogations include some of the crimes against humanity that I've spoken of. And when you read this document, it's just fascinating that they're saying that the new policy deems a UN Committee Against Torture and the UN Special Rapporteur Against Torture as the authorities for determining whether certain national security detention settings are considered to be in violation of international law. This policy clarification is consistent with APA's status as an accredited non-governmental agency at the UN committed to promoting and protecting human rights. So basically, the UN is deciding what constitutes torture. What constitutes torture? The sale and permanent detention of children, the fake birth certificates, false marriages. Are they considering that torture? I don't know, because they support people like Ronnie Yu Yashiro, who is talking about tricking women and men out of their rights by claiming that she wants to write with them in her vows. This policy clarification is consistent, blah, blah, blah. Based upon recent reports by the aforementioned UN authorities, it is a violation of APA policy for psychologists to engage in any activities beyond those listed above at the following national security detention sites: Guantanamo Bay detention facilities, any remaining or future black sites. Okay, black sites is just the federal government decides a plastic surgery clinic is a black site. Vessels in international waters. Remember, people are vessels. Or sites where detainees are interrogated under foreign jurisdiction. This HIG, high-value interrogation, is gang stalking at its worst. It's DOD, FBI, and CIA attacking one person using the military apparatus and the apparatus of the state and federal government, and maybe even foreign governments. Although it is our understanding that placements at national security detention settings are currently voluntary, no, they're not voluntary. We're requesting that psychologists who are working at detention sites that are in violation of the U.S. Constitution or international law be deployed elsewhere. Yeah, really? No shit. Because this is disgusting that they, you guys, I finally found my alien number. They removed me in 2008 from Miami, where I never lived. I have never lived in Miami, to my knowledge. Finally, our new policy redefines the term cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment in prior APA policies in accordance with the UN Convention Against Torture, rather than with the 1994 U.S. reservations to this treaty, which were used by the Bush administration to justify enhanced interrogation techniques, which I've gone over under the FBI, documents talking about hiring Black Panthers to castrate horses. You know what I think that means. The goal is to ensure that the APA policy offers protections to everyone, everywhere, including foreign detainees held outside of the U.S. So they basically remove you from the U.S., which is the same thing. Removal is deportation, without telling you. Because they create fake birth certificates claiming you were born in America, and even your FBI background check does not say you were born elsewhere. As stipulated by the new policy, APA is requesting that U.S. government withdraw its understandings and reservations to the UN Convention Against Torture. They wrote this in 2015. Probably someone said, you're castrating women who don't know they're being detained. It's sickening. And then you're selling their children. You're selling their children using real estate law, as I showed you. That mortgage for $900 million is all, how is a mortgage $900 million? It's because they're using real estate law to hold a person in captivity for the federal government. Let me see. So, again, it's cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. The 2015 policy also clarifies a key provision of the 2008 policy entitled Psychologists and Unlawful Detention Settings, with a focus on national security. And how they get this setting is through something called unlawful detainment. An unlawful detainer is basically an eviction, where I found an eviction under the names they're using to identify me, and that just goes straight to the Air Force, right? This policy prohibits psychologists from working on a national security detention settings that are in violation of the U.S. Constitution or international law, unless they're working directly for the persons being detained or for an independent third party working to protect human rights or providing mental health services to military personnel. The new 2015 policy deems the UN committee as the authorities. All right, the UN is disgusting because they are allowing women who are nonviolent to be castrated and their children sold for case studies. This policy clarification is consistent with APA's status as an accredited blah, blah, blah. Based on recent reports, it is a violation of APA policy for psychologists to engage in any other activities beyond those listed at national security detention sites, the Guantanamo Bay Detention Facility, any remaining or future black sites, aka Lasky Clinic, or any other plastic surgery clinic in Beverly Hills that Eric Garcetti deems a black site or Adam Schiff deems a black site. Vessels, blah, blah. Finally, our new policy redefines the term cruel, inhuman, degrading punishment in prior APA policies in accordance with the UN Convention Against Torture, rather than with what the Bush called to justify enhanced interrogation techniques, i.e. castration of women, i.e. forced sterilization of women, claiming they're poor, when it's the U.S. federal government deciding that they can't work or removing them by never serving them a document about removal, never telling them they were actually an immigrant. The goal is to ensure the APA policy offers protections. Okay. We also urge you to take affirmative steps to ensure that national security detainees in U.S. custody are treated fairly and humanely, which they aren't. These people are getting raped and tortured by people posed and planted in their lives to rape and torture them, and are able to exercise all rights guaranteed to them under the U.S. Constitution, the UN Convention Against Torture, and the Geneva Conventions. To summarize the two core provisions of our new policy related to the roles of psychologists in national security: prohibit psychologists from participating in all national security interrogations or conditions of confinement that might facilitate such interrogations. Prohibit psychologists from working at detention settings operating in violation of the U.S. Constitution or international law as deemed by specified UN authorities. These settings include Guantanamo Bay Detention Facility and any remaining future black sites, including those run by federal contractors, i.e. private prisons, vessels where detainees are held in international waters, or sites where detainees are interrogated under foreign jurisdiction by stealing their eggs, by stealing their ovaries, uterus, gallbladder, and maiming their face and spine. APA requests that psychologists currently working at such sites be offered deployment elsewhere. To remain in compliance with APA policies, psychologists who choose not to work at such settings may only treat military personnel, not detainees. In closing, we would like to reaffirm APA's commitment to human rights. We're requesting that psychologists be safeguarded from involvement in any national security interrogations. You guys, these interrogations include rape and torture of innocent civilians, not criminals, or detention settings that would risk placing them in conflict with APA's ethic code and policies related to national security, which can be accessed here. Why is Adam Schiff on this letter? These people are torturing children. It's not only children, you guys. It's adults. It's females and males. And it has to stop. And that's it.